qualifying doesn't even mean anything anymore. You know, turn up late, qualify last, you'll still end up winning. So it's minor. Um, yeah, man, I came in with the aerodynamic trim, had to drop the afro, came ripping merch as not always, I guess, but it had to be done. Um, yeah, I'm a bit I'm a bit all over the place. I've been out pretty much all day. Quick stop live, for those who don't know, I went to go watch the race at an event hosted by Quick Stop F1, a podcast that all of you should have heard of. But yeah, it was a good event. Went out, didn't hear the commentary because it was loud in there, so had to do a quick catch up. I'm a bit trying to keep up with what happened in the race, but we'll see where my thoughts get me. So yeah, just gonna try do a quick race review while my thoughts are fresh. Yusuf is still in hiding. If you do see him out in the streets, call me. Let me know his whereabouts. His return should be imminent, but it's just me at the moment. So once again, I'm gonna spiral slowly over this next hour, and we will just see where I end up. So once again, not the usual, but we'll make do with what I have. And I will, you know what? I'll enjoy it because he can't try and come at me. He'll probably be, I don't know, I'm assuming Lewis will have a bad race and then he'll return. That's normally how it goes. So I'm just going to enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. That sounds horrible. All right. Um, yeah, the event. First things first. Congratulations to both Tandy and Yasha for the event. Like, honestly, it was incredible to get people traveling. I personally, it took me like an hour and a half to get there. Um, I'm sure there are others who might have traveled for longer. But either way, like, just going there, having everyone in one place. The energy was great. Like, I'm not, if you couldn't tell by my name, I'm Muslim. I don't, live sports normally means one thing, and I don't really partake in that kind of stuff. So you don't see me gonna watch, I don't go out to watch football matches. I don't go out to watch this and that. But I went out, I watched the race live. I had met some good people. Shout out to everyone I spoke to. I didn't get to speak to everyone, but everyone was great that I spoke to. I'm sure everyone else was great as well. It was just good energy, cheering, all of this stuff, laughing. It was just fun to do, and definitely gonna try keep in contact with a few of the people. Yeah, just absorbing knowledge as well. Like glad, like just having an F1 space where everyone was like all passionate about this one thing. And the one story that it always keeps coming back to is we all grew up thinking that, black people or women or whoever it is don't really watch F1. Like I said at one point, like I thought my dad was weird. Like, the guy watches Wimbledon, he watched F1 a lot back in the day. I'd sit down and watch it with him as a kid, and I'm just thinking, this isn't for him. Even the white kids, I grew up in a very white area, even they didn't watch F1. So to end up a few years later now in a space where we're all there, a lot of people from different backgrounds, all there with one passion, just all excited about this one thing that I've held very close to my heart for a very long time. It was honestly great to see. And the fact it was held by two people, like it wasn't, they're not some big organization like Quick Stop, very new podcast. They've grown incredibly well and they've done really well for themselves and it's really inspiring. So if you somehow haven't heard of them or some of my friends, I know some of you don't really, you're not into F1 like that, but definitely give their stuff a listen. Uh, and yeah, honestly, it's just onwards and upwards for all of us, hopefully. Uh, because there were a few other creators in there on the chicane, Pit Stop Fracker. Those guys were funny, just sat at the back shouting random stuff. Um, yeah, it was just good to see. It was nice to meet everyone, people I'd spoken to, people I hadn't. Um, and yeah, just good conversations, just trying to absorb the knowledge, I guess. Uh, yeah, where do I go from here? Well, racing. What happened? All right. I guess in terms of like news wise, we'll go with I mean, I've mentioned Vettel's retirement. Basically, I put out a podcast, the French Grand Prix review. If you haven't seen it, I only put it out like 12 hours ago. So if you missed it, fair enough. Vettel is retiring, which is significant. But the only thing I want to say is, why on earth is Hulkenberg? I'm going to repeat this. Why on earth is Hulkenberg being considered for that seat? The guy is finished. He was in F1 in 2012. Anyone who was in F1 in 2012 and doesn't have a podium, like not even a race, but like a podium, he doesn't even have a podium to his name, and you're considering bringing him back. There is no reason for that at all. You're getting rid of a four-time world champion and the guy who couldn't even get a P3 in his entire huge career of hundreds of races. I think like 140 off the top of my head is probably something completely different. I don't know why I said that. And you're going to tell me that he deserves a seat right now. Reserve driver, cool, I get it. Yeah, he's experienced and all that. Shove him in the simulator, but why on earth would you have him actually driving the car? The team's in the bin, honestly. They shouldn't. You can't be doing that. That's just you're admitting defeat at that point. That's what that is. Um, okay, so midway through after the event, after the race, Quick Stop recorded their podcast live. Honestly, it was great. So it's definitely worth a watch. Actually, it's very different to just the normal podcast energy, seeing like the crowd's reaction to certain things being said and all of that stuff. It's actually very different. So would definitely give that a listen. Um, Someone said is Charles in the top five drivers, and very few. I think I was like one of three people who said yes. I don't know if the pressure got to everyone. I don't know if they didn't want to admit it, but I don't know. I would not question if Charles Leclerc is in the top five drivers at the moment. Like after today, what happened wasn't his fault. I don't know why he pitted. Like I don't know why on earth you're gonna. He got told to pit and he just did it from the hards to the softs. I understand the hards were very slow, but pitting again for the softs is just even more embarrassing. But either way, if I get the list of drivers up, there's no way I can pick out here five people that are better than Charles Leclerc. Max, sure. I'm doing it in order of the championship, by the way. Whoops. Um, Perez definitely not. Russell, that is debatable. Uh, maybe this year. Science is a no for me. Definitely not. Lewis, sure. Norris is consistent. How many am I on? I'm on three. I don't. There's no one else. I feel like certain people might mention Alonso. I can't remember if I said Norris, but Alonso, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, Verstappen. Does Charles fit? He's better than Alonso. He's better than Alonso this year. There's no way. Probably Norris as well. I haven't really been watching Norris too tough recently, but Charles he's top four. We'll give him top four. Like I don't understand. He's top four. The guy, I get he makes mistakes, but most of it's Ferrari. He's I can't defend Ferrari at all. You can't defend Ferrari. Anyone trying to defend Ferrari, you're fighting a losing battle, and I don't know why you're doing that to yourself. You're just ruining your credibility. But Leclerc's talented, and I said this last time, but the test for a driver is if they're fast in a fast car instantly. Lewis was fast in '07 instantly. Max was fast in his Red Bull in 16 instantly. George was quick the moment they put him in that Mercedes in Sakir. Certain people said that wasn't enough for them. That was enough for me. The moment I saw that, when he put it within a tenth of pole, dusted Bottas twice on track, that was enough. I understood. And then Charles being put in 2019, his performance that year, perfect. I'm not questioning his talent after that. He can do a couple spins here and there. I don't care, but I'm not questioning that he's quick. Over the course of a season, that might be a different conversation, but I would say he's got it in him to win a championship. And obviously, he's no Lewis Hamilton, but winning a championship while making some severe mistakes is one thing. But I don't know, certain people they've just got to as like I feel like Max has used some like black magic on something because how on earth is the guy making mistakes but it just never affects him? He can do a free. Who else could do a 360 mid race while on a comeback drive and then manage to get the opportunity to make a second pass for the lead, like literally a lap later? Didn't have to pit again. Tires were fine. I don't understand. The guy, he'll spin, completely recover it, not in the wall, whatever, and then just carry on like nothing happened. I think that's the second time someone posted. I think it was Germany 2019. I think it was 19, where he spun, did the pirouette, carried on, won the race. I don't get it. That guy, I feel like he's the only guy on the track who can make some huge error and then he just gets away with it. Like Brazil 2016. No one's talking about how he almost put it in the wall when he should have got his EP2, but he almost put it in the wall, then gets credited for the save, and then goes and makes the comeback drive again. I don't know, he always gets credit for like saving the mistake or whatever it was. Either way, I don't know. I don't think this one was his fault because it was the clutch or whatever, but he gets away with it again somehow. He's running away with the championship. That's 80 points now. There's no conversation at this point. It's definitely over. Um, I can't see any way that it's possible to come back. There were times last year when you'd say, yeah, it's looking unlikely, but like statistically and all of this and whatever it is, that Red Bull engine is gonna have to do a madness if anyone's gonna come anywhere near. And Ferrari don't even want to win it, to be honest. I will get onto Ferrari later, but they don't even want it. I don't know what it is about them, but they just they don't. Do you know what it is? They probably just haven't bought enough flags. That might just be it, you know. Like whenever they win a race, they put that little flag up in front of Marilyn. Maybe the flag guy's on holiday, like they just don't want to bother him. I that's the best reason I can come. If you can come up with a better reason, then let me know. But like flag guy being on holidays, they don't want to win, makes perfect sense to me. Um, what else do we have? Ooh, okay. So yeah, I mean stops. No, we won't even. Okay, this race. Obviously, I watched it live, and that was great. The energy was great. Room was great. And the race was actually really entertaining. So obviously the risk of rain was one thing, and that was it always adds to the drama. But I think what was really interesting, other than the thing you can't control, which was the top three were like relatively on pace. So that was really good to see actually. Um, was the pit stops. The if I go on Twitter, the pit stops. I think everyone did a two stop. I believe you're gonna have to search for this. Uh, I It just reminds me of I think it was maybe last year where pretty much every single race was a one stop and it honestly got so dry so fast. Yeah, here we were. Yeah, so two stop strategy was the main thing. Most people did a two stop. They went from some people did soft, medium, 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 soft. Yeah, I think that strategy made it really interesting. Similar thing would have happened in France if Leclerc didn't bottle it, but I'm thinking because I do remember, I think back in 2013, the standard was a three stop. I feel like the perfect amount of stops or the perfect scenario would be for it to be between a two and one stop strategy, or maybe it's a guaranteed two, just because one gets boring very quickly. But I think two was quite nice. It jumbled up the order a little bit. It gave opportunity for certain things to happen, and I don't know. It just seemed finding gaps in the track as well as a big thing. So like I personally just like the two stop. I think it's a good amount. I know Pirelli can they get criticized, but they make the tires how they've asked for. I think two stops for the sets should be the right amount because otherwise I don't want to see people going from like just nursing their tires 40 laps, then they go 20 laps and then that's it. Because then that's just two sprint races and that's dead. So this one was way more interesting. You got people stopping here and stopping there. You're asking for the windows. You're seeing like science near the end, stopping with like 25 laps to go or whatever on his set of softs. No way he was making that. Why on earth did they send him in? Honestly, it baffles me. I actually just don't know. I'm just lost for it. It's so long. Who else? I don't understand. What else? Cool. Right. TV hours. Right. What else happened? Who deserves a mention before I go into the things that happened? Right. Okay. I'm gonna say. No. Okay. Let's go for the best performance, the worst performance, and the rest of it. Okay. Right. Best performance for me in that race. It's got to be Lewis Hamilton. I wasn't going to say anything else, was I, realistically? Lewis going from second, sorry, seventh, dusting two people off the start. He's then overtaken Norris, holds off Max, extends his stint, stops, overtakes everyone on the way back. The comeback at the end, the cheering as well. The cheering that was going on when he overtook Science, the energy in that room was mad. And then when he overtook George as well, the screams. And then someone noticed Toto with a sly little smile on his face when Lewis overtook him. And honestly, it's good to see. Like someone just posted on a Twitter the F1 TV footage of Lewis just nodding his head in the cockpit after the race. And honestly, to compare that to when he gets out of the car with his back aching and stuff, and like he's in pain, it's great to see because it's been a long time, and honestly, he deserves it. I feel like it's weird. I don't know what it is about certain drivers, but they definitely get treated very differently when something happens. Like if Leclerc makes a mistake, he's almost babied. But then if I guess Vettel's the same, he's kind of babied when he makes a mistake. And then if Lewis makes one, or I don't know, Daniel makes one, they're told, retire while they're in the sport, get rid of them, all of this, don't deserve to be here. Um, yeah, I don't get it. And to those questioning Lewis's talent, if he's still got it, the skill, whatever it is, I think it's undoubtable. Like people are saying it now, and they definitely get it. Like obviously, we're not comparing them anymore because the cars are on different levels. But Max and Lewis leagues ahead of everyone else in the field. Very clearly, the two best at the moment, most consistent, most all-rounded, all the rest of it. Obviously, I have my opinions on who's better than the other, but that's not important right now. Um, I think George definitely deserves a mention. Um, I should probably do an underrated one. I'll save that for later. But George, okay, we'll go Max. Yeah, coming from 10th. That's what lowest place he's finished from now, or won from, sorry. And you know what? Not even Max actually. I'm gonna say the Red Bull strategy team. Fair play to Max for the drive, but the Red Bull strategy team, that was mad. There's droplets of rain on the screen and everyone's thinking they're going to pit, and everyone's thinking people are going to pit. And I remember when Max came in and they pulled out the mediums, it was wraps. We all thought there's probably something wrong, but because it's Red Bull, it's fine. I think if Ferrari did that, we would have been rolling on the floor laughing. But they spotted it. That gave them the undercut opportunity, and that's what got them ahead of George. Gave them the opportunity to hop everyone else. Like that was a masterclass from whoever called that. That was quality. Um, and that definitely helped him a lot with that. And then George, yeah, just good mention for George. Like pole position, his first pole position. That first race win is coming soon, eventually, maybe, because he's got it in him. Like it's got to happen this year. I feel like if Merck, I don't know how many wins Merck will get this year. I'm gonna say, I want to say like a healthy like. Oh no, there's only like 9 races left. I was gonna say like a healthy 5, but there's nowhere near enough races for that. It might just be like a little like 2, and even then, I don't actually think. Maybe I don't think. Maybe George won't get one this year, but he'll get one eventually. Um, yeah, I don't think he's gonna get one this year, but I think he'll get one eventually, and it's definitely on the way. First pole out of the way. Um, Good to see he had the pace there. It did. I'm happy for him now, but I can't say I was happy for him yesterday because if George could have stuck that on pole and did what he did and all of that stuff, Lewis had a very good chance of winning that race. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait to see who puts out the data and who puts out the lap times because I know someone out there will do. I think gonna have to compare. It's gonna have to be a bit of extrapolating, but someone's definitely got the possibility. Who do we have? Yeah, I don't know who else deserves a shout for best. Well, our best. Um, in terms of worst, there are so many options here. So many. Yeah, there's something on my elbow. Mad. Anyway, there's so many options for worst performers. I'd say, first of all, Ferrari strategy, as always, absolute joke. The When they came in for hards, everyone like jaw dropped, whatever. When he came in for softs again, everyone's laughing. Honestly, I thought I'm in engineering. I'm not okay, not like fully qualified yet, but I'm engineering degree, engineering student. I and in general, I'm kind of a bit of a passive introvert, like keep my opinions to myself kind of thing, which is mad on here, but still. I don't like to be the armchair critic as I sit in my armchair right now. I don't like I don't like to be the one to be like I don't know, I don't ever want to be the guy. I'm skinny, but like imagine I don't want to be the guy who's like 120 kilograms sat in his chairs telling Usain Bolt that his running technique is off. Do you get what, like I don't want to hate on Ferrari's strategy when these men are doing what I want to be doing and they've got qualifications and they've clearly gone through a job interview, got the job, got years of experience, and have all the data in their faces. But at the same time, are they using PCs that are older than me? Like, I know these things are like wide, like they've got to be using the fat TVs. Like those monitors have to be coming from their 80s and they've got to be running Windows XP because where on earth did they think those hard tires were gonna work? Where on the track did they think those hard tires were gonna work? Like, are they just? I don't know. Are they sympathetic for everything? I feel like they're too like empathetic. Do you know what it is? When Leclerc's behind Science and they don't want to swap him, they're like, oh, I feel bad for Science. Couldn't let Leclerc pass him. I can't do that. Nah, he's gonna feel bad. I don't want to hurt his feelings. When you see the hard tires there in the garage and they're not being used, and all the other sets of tires are getting a go, they see the hard tires in the corner getting dusty, and they're like, you know what? I feel bad for you. You know what? Let him go. Let him go. Hot. Put him on the car. Give him a couple laps. Take him off again. Why? Just why? It was so obvious. Like it was blaringly obvious to everyone. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario. If this is your final result, just copy everyone else. Like your car's fast enough, your drivers are fast enough. If you really don't want to be all risky and stuff, just copy everyone else. That you're just going to end up with a neutral result. You're not going to gain and you're not going to lose. And you know what? That's better than what's happening right now. So just be neutral about it. I don't know. Like it's the same with Mercedes and their pit crew. Like they'll have like a gap to whatever driver it is they're trying to get out in front of, and it's like they need a 2.5 second stop to come out ahead of this driver, and they'll still pit the guy, end up with their 4.2 second stop and come out behind them. And it's completely pointless. Like your pits are clearly awful. Why don't you wait until you have the gap where it's like 4 second stop will do? Get your awful 3.9 second stop, and then you still come out ahead of them. Stop like overestimating your stop time. Just stop overestimating the skill of, okay, I don't want to say the skill of your pit crew, but like the capacity for them to make pit stops this year, which has clearly declined than in previous years. Yeah, we'll go with that. Um, yeah, just just I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Listen, hit up Bill Gates, upgrade your PCs, hop yourself onto some sort of database, get yourself a better tech sponsor, and just focus on the data. I don't know, run some simulations. Follow Pirelli Motorsport on Twitter. Like, how are you gonna mess it up that badly? Like, I don't. George Russell is ahead of you in a slower car. Your drivers are 2 and 3, and both of your rivals, your championship rivals, are out of the question. Bonotto's on the pit wall. Why is he talking on the pit wall? I understand we don't like the sound of Christian Horner, but the thing is with Red Bull is because they can handle that stuff. Christian Horner can be on the phone. He can be chatting to Adrian Newey next to him, Jonathan Wheatley, and whoever else is on that pit wall. Then turn around, chat to the people in the garage, and probably take 14 phone calls from Milton Keynes while also talking to Ted Kravitz behind him and Crofty on the Sky thing. And his team can get the job done. Bonotto can't even handle chatting to the strategy guy, pit crew, whoever it is. He probably couldn't even talk to his right arm during that thing. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's don't listen. Don't overcomplicate things. Tell Crofty you don't want to chat right now. You don't need to be chatting to him. Tell him to go away, sort your strategy out, get your drivers in winning positions, and deal with it. Because how F1 cars are made of thousands of parts, like thousands. There are very strict rules to follow. These have come in. They were meant to come in years ago. They've come in now. You've had years to prepare for this. You have now assigned the perfect alignment of carbon fiber to allow the airflow to go over your car faster than anyone else's. Make your way around the however many kilometer track over 70 laps faster than anyone else with two great drivers. You've done the hard bit. Like you've done the hard bit. All you have to do is do a couple laps in practice, figure some stuff out, data this, data that, do your car setup, which you've already done because clearly you could do that, and send them on their merry way. Also, why on earth is Charles Leclerc driving an oversteery car? Why does he keep sliding through corners? The guy can't drift. We saw how he drifted last week, so I don't know why he keeps getting a drifty car. Give him something a little bit more stable. And that is, I can't. I just can't. I can't keep talking about Ferrari. I can't. It's so tragic. It's really disappointing. If you're Italian right now, I feel for you. And you know what? I'm missing hearing that Italian anthem. The Dutch and the Austrian just don't hit the same. They're not that good. The German actually isn't bad. I quite like that one. I want to hear the Italian national anthem. I don't know if I've been hypnotized by it. I feel like Charles has, but it's mad. Another question, actually. This was from the Pit Stop Fracker boys at the end. It was the last question I think that was asked. Who's in the worst position with the long contracts, Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc? And I've got to say, it's tough, but it's got to be Charles. Like McLaren's capable of winning, and they might be about to start. Like they might be in a drought right now, but Ferrari's drought is much longer. And if you could build a good car, but you're not like you don't have the other pieces of the puzzle, then if you can't even win with a rocket ship car, then what are you doing? Those strategy guys have been scamming a living. I'm sorry, but how on earth? I keep bringing this back, but this is the memory I have in my head. Kimi Raikkonen, never a championship contender in the Ferrari when he was teammates with Vettel. Vettel, in the years that the car was good, actually challenging Lewis Hamilton, and they were afraid to swap them when they were on different strategy. It wasn't even on pace. Vettel would have just pitted and Kimi's still out. They would leave him out. They would forget about him. They would completely ignore him. They would act like he didn't exist. He would be on, you would be doing 60 laps on the set of tyres that he started the race on, and then they'd pit him near the end, shove him into like P5. They didn't even care. They weren't aiming for the constructors. And they still wouldn't swap them. They wouldn't tell him. They wouldn't tell him to get out of the way. Vettel would be stuck behind him. They'd ask him to go a little bit faster, bit of complaining. They wouldn't do it then. They can't do it now. It's an embarrassment. It's science. Which is even worse, proving that they should have swapped them, got overcut by Leclerc. How are you going to get overcut? You've just put on fresh tyres. You've stopped before him. You're meant to be flying in the lap times, and he went and got overcut by his teammate when Max went and like undercut four drivers at once. Guy was nowhere. It's I don't know. It's embarrassing on all fronts. Like they need to sit down. I know Lewis keeps posting on his Instagram that he leaves the track at like midnight. He needs to like drag Charles in by a dog leash and tell him to get his team in order. This is just, I don't know. I don't know if Benotto's the guy. I don't know if he needs firing. The strategy team definitely needs a mix up. It's going to take the whole grid at some point. They're going to need to take everyone from all the rival teams, put them all together. They might as well. You know what? You know what? Here's an idea. How about Ferrari and their strategy team get a notepad, walk down the pit lane to Red Bull will be before them. So they go down to McLaren, then they go down to Alpine, Aston, Williams, Haas. Ask everyone, ask all of their strategy. You know what? What would you guys do with our cars? Write down their answers, tally them up, and just do whatever they say. Just take their advice. Not make it a survey. Send out a live survey mid-race to all of the pit walls and get their opinions on what you should do, because that's clearly a better way of doing it than how you're doing it now. Worst performance as well. Another shout in there. Alonso, how are you gonna go bragging about keeping a seven-time world champion behind you last year, going on about this and that, saying you're about it, saying that you're quality, saying that you should be put in a championship like contender car, saying that you're here to win another championship, saying that you're one of the most talented guys or whatever it is, and then have Max Verstappen behind you, a guy who you want to rate up more highly than Lewis, and you're gonna get out of his way. One nerd. And he didn't even, I thought he did it on purpose the first time. Turns out the guy had Parkinson's on the steering wheel, came in twitching. He bottled it. He completely bottled it. It's tragic and it's annoying. And normally it wouldn't be worth mentioning, but I'm going to mention it because it's Alonso and he's a dickhead. I don't know why, it annoyed me so much. Like I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Similar situation, just want to mention, because if Yusuf was here, he would say this. Daniel Ricciardo, class double overtake, legendary stuff. He's back. He runs these streets and all that. Then went and remembered who he was and punted Perez off, or punted Stroll off a couple corners or a couple laps later. It's it's not looking good, bruv. He's got to go. He's really got to go. It's I hate to be that guy, but there's certain drivers like when they have a drought. I feel like Lewis is in a win drought right now. I'm not questioning his talents. Certain drivers, they may go through droughts. They may have phases where they're not that good. Perez wasn't great at McLaren, but he came back and he's been doing his thing in Force India and Racing Point and all the rest of it. I don't see the end of this drought for Ricardo. I can't see him coming back from this. If he was going to come back from this, he would have done it by now. Like, just, just relearn how to drive the car, man. Like, or adjust it. I'm sorry, but like, just adjust it. I'm not going to say engineering isn't that hard, but you don't need to be an engineer. They're not asking you to build the car. They're just saying give feedback and we'll change stuff until you like it. Like, it's not that difficult, I don't think, at least. Or at least show an interest. Like, just try. Like, it's frustrating. It's so annoying. Like, the Quick Stop podcast made some good points about this, but like, he's he's just not interested. I don't know what that guy does. It's like he was meant to be a DJ in another life. He's like a hippie and he's meant to be like living in some VW camper van. But instead he somehow ended up racing Formula One cars and it just he doesn't watch the news. He likes to keep out of politics. He doesn't want to keep up with anything that's going on or the drama or whatever it is. And he also just doesn't want to help with the engineering side. He just drives the car. And you know what? That would be incredible if the guy was the most talented guy ever and he was pulling up Michael Schumacher like performances and all of this. And you know what? He just shows up, he drives the car and he leaves. That would be incredible. But you know what? The talented drivers never do that. They're always helping and they're always doing this stuff. So even if he was that good, he'd be helping. And if he was that good and not helping, then he might have gotten away with it. But he's not. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't say that I don't need good football boots and I show up to play at Power League in flip-flops and then go and like concede 20 goals. I gotta be showing up on my studs. Like I gotta be showing up in boots. If I'm flipping Messi and I show up barefoot or in flip-flops, or I could go play in Crocs. And if I'm doing up rainbow flicks on the pitch and finessing everyone, then no one's gonna complain that I'm in Crocs. But if I show up to play and I'm in Crocs and then I get dusted by the fat 50-year-old centre back, then there's going to be questions asked as to why I'm not wearing suitable footwear to the football pitch. Why do you not know your own car? That's your machinery. It has your number on it, it has your name on it, it has your country's flag on it. And you're not learning about what can make it go faster. This is your career. You're being paid millions. The guy, I'm pretty sure before Lando re-signed his contract was getting paid more than Lando. That's a disgrace. Everyone's complaining about money and stuff, saying they don't have money for this and they don't have money for that, and they're chasing the money and they're going to America. You know what? Instead of going to America, instead of kicking Spa off the calendar, instead of rinsing yourself out and not doing this and not providing that and not improving things and not spending money because you want to make more revenue before you reinvest into your company, how about you get rid of the people that just get rid of the dead weight? How about that? Get rid of the dead weight. Don't cap driver contracts or whatever it is, and don't limit this and limit that. But get rid of the people that you're wasting the money on. Ferrari strategy team. You know what? I'm sure I could find plenty of graduates fresh out of uni that love those jobs and they'd get paid way less at first, but I think they could do a better job. And Daniel Ricciardo, I am sure there are plenty of people that would be dying for that McLaren seat. And if it wasn't someone in a junior category, then upgrade a different, I don't know, current driver, send someone else in to replace them. Because I don't know, I get he's risking his life, but like at those speeds, is he? That is the real question. Um, I'm gonna have to call it there to be honest. In terms of underrated, it's gotta be Alonso and Norris again. Vettel getting points in the Aston is cool, but Stroll finished 11th. I don't know what the gap was, but just shout out Norris and Alonso for finishing best of the rest again, clearly proving their consistency and all the rest of it, especially Norris. Um, but yeah, we'll go on to predictions going into the summer break now. Yeah, long time off. I'll try and keep getting these out weekly. The plan was to have guests on. It's not going to be as fun if it's not possible with Yusuf, seeing as he's not in the country and all the rest of it. But we will have to see what happens. Um, Actually, to be fair, I'm going on holiday, so probably not next week, but maybe the week after. We'll have to see. I'll try plan something. To be fair, you don't have to follow a schedule when there's no race for like 4 weeks, so I might just put it out on random days. Um, just quickly, we'll do the prediction section and all the rest of it. Fantasy. I came fifth this week. Unfortunately, I was at work, so I couldn't actually upgrade or change my team. I definitely would have made some changes, let's put it that way. But fifth, I will take. In terms of what that means for the overall standings, oh my God, I forgot to use my Mega Driver. I knew I was meant to do something. I forgot to use my Mega Driver. I would have Mega Driven Max and banged points. I would have put Max in the team, Mega Driven him and banged points. And I bottled it. I completely bottled it. Yeah, I'm lacking in points now. That was my big opportunity. Oh, that is so sad. That's actually awful. I gained on. Did I gain on everyone? Someone used their Mega Driver. Everyone who didn't above me, I gained on them. I gained on everyone. Pain. Real pain. Ah, it's tough. It's tough out here. And I don't think it gets any better because I just remembered I went all out with these predictions. Ah, this is gonna be bad. Here we go. So, my predictions that I did on Friday after practice, but I didn't look at the results. For qualifying, oh God, I said that it would be Leclerc, Sainz, Verstappen. I got Sainz in second. That is it. To be fair, that's a tough one to predict. The race. The race. I said Lewis would win. I wish he did. Lewis should have won that. It's tough. Lewis did not win. Perez did not come second, and Sainz came fourth, not third. You know what? I was right. It was a good race, though. I was right. The order got mixed. I was wrong how it happened. I was also looking at the number of DNFs. I said Lewis would get driver of the day, definitely in contention, but Mike's got it. And DNFs, I said there would be 7. There was 1. Tough day in the office. I'm not going to give myself the bonus extra point in brackets slightly separate from the other total because, I definitely didn't deserve it. I definitely don't deserve it this week. Um, do I do Spa predictions now? Maybe, it's probably more fun if I do actually. Let's do Spa predictions now. I'm gonna regret this, but it's all part of the games. Right, so top 3 in quali. Let's see how we do this. So, fast corners. Who's good in the fast corners? I forgot. It's Red Bull. Well, Ferrari illegal flaw. Do I say that plays a part in this? It's tempting. It's very tempting. Okay, you know what? Here's a punt for you. Here's a punt for you. Whoops. I'm gonna say Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell. Yeah. No, yeah. You know what? Yeah, of course. And in the race, I'm gonna say, am I just gonna copy exactly? That's just exactly what just happened this week. Yes, I am. I'm gonna say the same thing. Driver of the day is still gonna be Max Verstappen, because of course it is. And DNFs, that is a hard question. The number of DNFs, the number that comes into my head is four, but I feel like they're all just going to be engine failures, so I might go down to three. I'm going to go three. I'm going to back three. There we go. All right. So I'm predicting the exact same thing as this week, but with two more DNFs. We'll see how it goes in, what's that, 3 weeks' time? 4 weeks' time. Well, thank you everyone for listening if you made it this far. Um, yeah, not the usual, but I'm sort of sadly kind of getting used to this. Shout out to everyone who went to Quick Stop Live, obviously. Um, and big mention again to uh the Quick Stop people because yeah, event was great, podcast was great. It was all good energy, it was fun, and definitely can't wait for everyone else. Once this platform gets big enough, I'll definitely be doing my events. Um, that is the aim, and everyone else should be as well, because honestly, that was fun. And yeah, uh, just hoping it's the first of many to come. Um, yeah, I've been Mohamed. This has been the Dirty Side of the Grid podcast. Be sure to check out all the socials that you see floating around me. Um, and yeah, just join the conversation. Like honestly, just that's the best part. Feel free to at us, message us, do whatever, just interact because it's I don't know, that's what this is all for, I guess. Um, and yeah, I'll see you in like 2 weeks, the next week at some point, potentially, maybe with a guest. I can't guarantee anything. We'll see what happens. And goodbye.